this is Matt, and we're here to show you the 25 sales habits of highly successful salespeople and how we can use that in conjunction with your class textbook to better benefit your students.
Great.
So, Stephen Schiffman wrote this book, 25 Sales Habits of Highly Successful Salespeople. Just a little bit more about Stephen Schiffman. He's a leader in sales training. He's been a leader since 1979. He has consulted with many known companies such as Sprint, Motorola, and IBM. He's trained over 500,000 sales professionals that work for over 9,000 different companies. So I think it's safe to say he's pretty knowledgeable on what he's doing.
Some credibility there.
Yep, he's
All right.
got some credibility. He was also ranked #1 sales expert in prospecting by Personal Selling Power magazine. So before we get too far, I just want to recap some needs that you gave to us when we met last. So we're going to make sure you want to bring skills to life. So more examples, more real-world experiences from people who have been in the industry, know what they're doing. You want more additional resources for the students to have, which is always needed. You can't have enough, I think. And it also wants to make your life easier. So, and that's never a bad.
Yeah, wouldn't complain about that.
Is that about get everything we talked about?
Yeah, that's the high stuff. Good.
So the students will have a clear understanding of the sales process and are ready to apply the habits and skills to real-world scenarios. It's going to give students the confidence to successfully apply these habits to their daily routine and provides a good reference point for the instructor when helping students understand the material and how it's applied. It also shortens the time period that students catch on to the sales process, so when they're ready to jump out there, they already have that experience down. So here's some of the testimonials that we have on the book, on people that have read the book. 5 stars, so it's going to be a great fit. So this one is, I'm in outbound telesales, and Mr. Schiffman knows what he's talking about. They could feel it in his heart that he really, was knowledgeable, and they could really take to heart what they read in the book and apply it to their everyday career. And then I'd recommend this to all sales professionals at any stage in your sales career. This is a book you want to review time again, as every habit discussed is spot on. So for new sales, or if you're a veteran sales, it's still applicable to kind of review your process and make sure you're hitting them all.
So in the book, obviously 25 sales habits, it's going to have 25 of them. We included just a couple here to just give you an idea of what it kind of goes through. And it goes through the whole sale process from beginning to end, and these habits that will help you better your process in that at each step. So one of them is know the sales timetable. So being able to work backwards from the time your customer needs a product to ensure that you have left enough time for your sales effort based on your customer needs. So basically it's saying start with the end date in mind and make sure that you can meet that and meet it with a good product. You're going to ask for referrals. So this is basically just saying ask people to get your name out there. Ask to help find more business. And it's not a hard thing to do. He kind of goes through the book and through this habit, and it's just like you just got to do it. You gotta ask people. It's going to help you. The worst they can say is no. So
I just want to jump in on that. It may seem like the scariest part. I mean, at least for me, that's kind of what I feel like. Cause you don't want to be turned down, or you don't want, can you get some names? And then they don't have anything. It's just kind of an awkward question, but it could really be the most lucrative question that you ask because that's what you're doing.
another one is tell the truth. Obviously you don't want to be lying to your customers, setting them up with false expectations. Just makes things easier that way too. And then you don't have to try to keep everything in mind. Bonus habit that we threw in there as well that are in the book is no one wakes up and says, I'm going to be stupid today. So, look here, it's just one of those things where everyone makes mistakes. So, you don't want to dwell on it, you just gotta move on, keep going, and learn from your mistake.
So some additional resources of other books that he's wrote are The Most Dangerous Sales Myths and How to Avoid Them, 25 Most Common Sales Mistakes and How to Avoid Them, 25 Sales Skills They Don't Teach in Business School, and 25 Sales Strategies That Will Boost Your Sales Today. It's got a thing with 25.
Clearly.
So along with Sales Habits of Highly Successful People, these books are also available online, multiple retailers, Amazon, Audible, anything like that, and they are very reasonably priced at $6.95 each. So it would be a very cheap pickup for your students since they do pay for their own books. So it's not like you're going to be requiring much for them.
Some objections that we thought that you may have are, there are many other sales books, what makes ours the best, how does your book help student success rate increase, and why should you choose our book? And what we've come up with is the difference between our book and other books out there is just the amount of information and the real life advice that we can provide. And by giving the students broken down steps and actions, it eliminates the feeling of being overwhelmed. Even if the students choose a couple of the steps to retain, they're still going to be better off than they were before. And you should choose this book because it's going to give your students everything that you're looking for, and it's also a short read, so it'll give your students more time to finish other work and won't feel overwhelmed.
All right, so that's all we have for you. Just a couple of things left. Do you have any questions for us before we close up here?
Yeah, I do. What you flashed 4 other books of his up there. What's the value of this book compared to those 4? Why was this one? Obviously the same credentials in his background apply to all 5 of the books he's written. So
Sure.
what was it about this one that made it most applicable to the class?
Well, I think this one sets the groundwork for the rest of those books. This one is just helping you set each process within the sales process, giving you good tips to do each step, and once you've mastered, well, not mastered because I don't think anyone can master it, but once you've got a good handle on those, then you can move on to the other books and continue your progress.
So I'm assuming there's 25 habits plus it looks like bonus.
There's
There's
5
5
5
bonuses.
bonus. Oh,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but
So
it would have
30
ruined his whole
altogether.
thing if he had 30.
Right.
So, I get you. So how does he explain these habits? I mean, what does he do in terms of the text to reinforce? I mean, I'm sure the habit, as the ones you have popped up there, they're all catchy or have something,
Mhm.
Clever as a headline to them. But how does the book reinforce the idea from the habit?
So, you can go ahead.
I was just gonna say that for most of them, when you start to read a habit, he will have like a real life situation that he will talk about first, and then he kind of like circles back and says, well, this is what you could do, or this is why they're doing that.
Okay.
For instance, on the Ask for Referrals one, he talks about somebody that he knows that he thinks is like the greatest salesman, and how he sends out a letter to all of his clients when he's going on vacation. And basically, he was congratulating them on their success, but also, hey, I'm going to be successful too because you are. And then if you have any referrals, please put them, please
Okay.
reply back and gives them,
Okay. Some good tangible things. Good.
Mhm. So we were thinking that we would contact you within the next couple of days after you had a chance to look over our book, and then we also have a brochure for you as well to take with you.
Okay, great.
Get that to you.
All right.
There you go.
Good.
Any other questions for us?
No, not for me.
All right. Well, like I said, like she said, we'll get a hold of you in the next couple of days, and we'll see what's happening. Okay.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Thanks.